guys, welcome. We're here today to talk about KAP. This is a modality that has completely changed my life. It's universal energy transmissions that come in from your crown and they awaken the Kundalini energy in your body, which is, for me, it means it's actually like a force for awakening of all of the energetic pathways. So welcome, Genoa. Excited to have you here. Genoa is a KAP facilitator, and please introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. I am so excited and truly humbled to be here with you today. I've been watching the comments, and God, you're everywhere. You are everywhere. Thank you so much for having me, Jules. I'm a spiritual seeker and a healer, and like everybody here, I have just been searching for ways to open my heart and be a channel for love and have more access to source, right? And I had a lot of teachers, and I was a breathwork facilitator. And then one day I noticed that as I was meditating, my body wanted to move. And so being a breathwork facilitator, I made a playlist and I laid my body down and I just let it move however it wanted to. And I didn't know what this was. And I did that for a few weeks every morning in my living room. And then I came across a Facebook ad, and I saw this guy activating with his finger this movement in people, and it was like very beautiful. And I was like, what is this thing? This is what I do in my living room. And I went to a class, and it was so powerful, like such a powerful mover of energy and light. And I felt like it was more powerful being facilitated than doing it on my own. That was clear. Mm-hmm. So that teacher who I saw the video of, his name is Venet Wong. Mm-hmm. And he learned from a lot of other people who do different channeled transmissions, but his biggest influence was his guru, Adida. So I have devoted my life to this practice for the last 2 years. It's a relatively new practice. I'm really very excited to be doing these classes with your community. I love your community. I met some of you at Blue Spirit in Costa Rica when I came to a retreat. What was that in September?
Yeah.
Yeah.
August. It was August.
Some of you I met there, and what a beautiful community. I can't say enough how excited I am to be here to share this practice with you.
Yeah. And that's in Costa Rica was when I first heard about KAP. Totally synchronistically guided to the swimming pool, the saltwater swimming pool one day by my inner child. And
we played.
Yeah. But I mean, I had no idea how much this modality would impact me, and like how much I would just like absolutely become so enamored with it. And for me, like what it is it's so like, it feels like universal energy, right? And people have all kinds of ideas about what Kundalini is, and we'll talk about that. Some people are scared of Kundalini, but like for me, this is about embodied awakening. Mm-hmm. This modality. So like the way that the energies come into like my field and start to like stimulate these like movements that I've seen the KAP videos of people being KAP'd, and it's like, oh, this is not just me who moves this way. This is like what the energy is awakening. And so yeah, I'm so stoked to share this with the Stargate community. And it's so fascinating to me because there's such a mystery here with energy transmissions. Mm-hmm. It's like, okay, we're not talking about electricity that we plug into the wall. We're talking about something that I think is closer to the fundamental fabric of our universe. Mm-hmm. And it's just fascinating to me that the Stargate energy it's almost like sometimes people become so still, they almost stop breathing, which is like a yogic thing, right? Like
it's so good though. It's so good.
It's like, you feel yourself as an energetic being, and you're in the field. And then for me, what KAP has been doing is it's bringing the field into my body. And it's like, it's like clearing things, waking things up. It's literally like sculpting my body from the inside. Preet and I have this amazing, really skilled massage therapist up here. And I didn't see her for 2 months. And like in that 2 months, I did like a KAP retreat, and I like did a bunch of this modality, like, cause like I just became obsessed because it feels so good. And my massage therapist was like, the next time I saw her, she was like, what have you been doing? She's like, your body's completely different. And like, I've like, it's really structurally like aligning a lot. So yeah.
Well, the thing about the movement, two things I want to say. Not everybody moves in KAP. And whatever happens in KAP is totally legit and beautiful and exactly your journey. And some people start still and they end up moving along the way, and the energy gets more access to their channels, and then things start happening. And sometimes that's a linear process. Sometimes for people like me and you, we started out the gate with that exact reaction. And the reason we talk about the movements so much, even though everybody doesn't move, and it's okay if you don't, I want to reiterate that, because some people need permission to listen to that guidance happening in their body. Some people think, oh, I thought I had to lay on the mat and I wanted to move, or my hands wanted to dance and I didn't think I was allowed. So we mention it a lot for that reason, so that you know that you have permission should the impetus arise, should the energy move you in a way that your hands want to do mudras, that you know that that's exactly what you're supposed to allow to do. Then also, because that's kind of one of the hallmarks of this modality is the movement, and it feels so good when you're doing it. Like the notion that you're doing it right is because it just feels really good. And it's also from a body, I'm a body worker too. From a body worker perspective, it's bilateral. So if you end up stretching a hip in KAP class, because a lot of these movements that you're doing are actually stretches. You're always going to end up stretching that other hip. Like it's a weird thing, but if you listen to the guidance of the energy, when you're done, you're going to feel like you had the most balanced, equal like stretch session you ever had. Yeah, I love that part.
It's amazing. So like there's two components, right? There's like the kinetic movement, and it's like shaking, and for me these like levitation style stretches happen, and like kind of like a fire hose type energies, like, and also like blossoming into stillness. So and so like there's the kinetic and there's the consciousness. And so sometimes you might have an entire KAP session, especially as you're starting, where, or like even just if it's how the energies hit you, where you're like still, and all the movement that's happening is,
So there's two parts to this KAP transmission. And we can talk about transmissions as a whole, but this particular transmission has the KAP frequency, but there's also a non-dual component. And there will be times when you are just completely in a non-dual state of oneness and expansion, no thought, no ego. And it's like getting a freaking vacation from your mind. You know what I mean? I can't explain what a delight it is to have no mind for this extended period of time, out of time. So, you know, in that, we don't know, the time is all screwy because we're not in time anymore during a KAP session. So it can feel like this long break from personhood.
Yeah, which is so refreshing and so needed. I have a theory that human beings actually require altered states for mental health.
Yeah, I love that theory. I completely agree. And the thing that I love about KAP is it is so much like a plant medicine journey, but there's no medicine. You don't poop yourself. You don't, you don't like none of these purging. That there's definitely some energetic purging that people feel. There's like, whoa, you feel some like energy that you no longer need that's blocking. You will feel that come up and out, but it's 99% of the time never a real literal purge.
Right.
But so if you're a sober person, if you have a sensitive system, if you don't want to do substances, but you want the spiritual journey aspect of it, that's what KAP does. And that's one of the most magical things about it.
And I want to talk about this because to me, this is probably the other thing that keeps me coming back is this sense of like the ways in which like the like skyrocketing into these like transcendent states, it lets energy move out of the system. So like I'll move from in KAP, I'll move from like crying to laughing to like all within like just like within like a few moments. And it's like I know that what's happening is these energies are literally taking what's been stuck mentally, emotionally, and it's like clearing it out. And it's just like it's such a beautiful feeling, and there's a creative feeling to it as well.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, here's one reason why. KAP as a modality does not live here. The point of KAP is it comes all the way down, all the way down, all the way down. And it gets down to here. So this is where your creative energy comes from, right? So it does move in this, generally, not always. There's never 100% with KAP, but what's my hair doing? It does tend to move in this motion, right? The KAP energies will start at your crown and they'll move down. Where's this? Okay, they'll move down, and but they're going all the way down to your root. And you like no other modality, you will be deep in your pelvic floor. And I actually had a client, someone who comes regularly to KAP. She comes twice a week. And she used to have pelvic floor problems where she would have dysfunction. Let's just say she would have pain during sex. And she'd had it for a long time. And after about, I don't know, 3 to 6 months of doing KAP, because it does move your energy, like your pelvic floor is muscles, right? And so there was dysfunction in those muscles. And you being in KAP, having that energy down deep in her hips, it went away. She just had a healing from that. That's how powerful this modality is.
100%.
My teacher doesn't like for us to talk about the healing aspects of this modality, but like because it relieves trauma, because it relieves a load of stuck energy, there are going to be healings that happen.
It's so fascinating how like the currents of the energy are like stimulating the musculature, and it's amping up our innate intelligence at the same time. And this is why I'm like, KAP is sculpting my body from the inside out. And also like with the pelvic floor thing, it's like the yogis knew it was a pump, right?
Oh yeah, you feel that in this modality. You feel that pump.
Oh, you feel it. And it's like, and it's incredible. And it's awakening like what is with the essence of life work that I do. It's all about kicking our sexual energy into this higher octave, which is like spirit breathing life, literally life coming to the planet through our sexual energy, right?
Yes.
So like what's cool about KAP is it's actually so complementary to awakening that force within us. And the essence of life is a healing force. So it's like, yes, like let's bring it, let's wake it up, let's like move it through our body. And like I wasn't expecting to talk about this, but actually one of the things that's happened for me with KAP, which is just stunning, is I've moved through different phases of how the energies have hit me. So like at first when I did KAP, the very first session, I was like, wow, this feels really good. It was like kind of subtle. I was like, this feels really good. I was with my friend Daniela, who's like jumping around and moving. She's like, yeah, like, and so like it got me moving. But then like all of a sudden, like I was like still at one point and I just saw like purple, like in my visual field. It was like a cloud of purple. And I was like, wow. Because seeing colors is not something that typically happens for me. And I do energy work all the time. And I was like, oh, like it's different. And that evolved to like at one point when I was doing KAP with you in Mexico online, I saw like orange, just like my whole visual field as soon as it started. just this like vibrant orange. And now I don't see colors anymore in KAP. I'm like, that's really interesting.
Yeah, they'll come back.
Yeah, I imagine they will. And another thing that ties into what we were just talking about more is like these like awakening of like my body's intrinsic energetic ability to have like kind of orgasmic bliss states, which happens sometimes, and also like has like it got really strong for a while. Like I would just be like scraping snow off of my car and like suddenly like boom, like I'm just in like an ecstatic state.
Yeah.
And lately it's been different. So not so much like happening in that way, but the energy is still moving with like those currents of bliss, but it feels less, it's very interesting. It's like more like a like grounded, like boom kind of an energy instead of like a boom. Yeah.
I want to talk about that. There's a large bulldog. I don't know if you can hear.
No, I don't hear him at all.
Okay, great, because she's snorting and I don't know what she's doing. Let me just make sure she's not eating.
She's excited about KAP.
She actually loves KAP.
Yeah.
She's always here when we're capping. So she loves it. Okay, it's fine. Can we talk about orgasms here?
What do you guys think on the live? Are you okay with this train of thought? I think we can talk about it. Yeah, I think it's important. Yeah.
It's tantric bliss, all of that stuff. I will tell you that this practice has completely changed my experience of orgasm in this body, that there's two very distinct realities. One is the physical pleasure, which has skyrocketed. And then two is this like energy of bliss and pleasure. And so like the energy of bliss and pleasure is here so much all the time. But then when it's like add the physical pleasure and the two of them are now together as this sexual thing, and it's incredible.
It's completely incredible. I know. Yeah, and like to have the experience of my body just going into like energetic orgasmic states, just like with like virtually no, like there's just like, I'm not trying to make that happen. It's spontaneously arising because of this awakening of the pelvic floor. Like because of the way it's set. Yeah, exactly. It's like this is your vehicle coming alive.
Yes. And like from a brain perspective, when we're in KAP and we have the experience of oneness, B, the experience of all of this energetic bliss, we're building a neural net in our brain of that experience. So it happens in between sessions. And that is like, we get so excited about happens in the session because it's so fun. But the point of it really is it's an awakening tool. So we're learning how in between the sessions, the difference in our lives. And that's where the magic really is, even though we get all excited about the stuff because it's so fun.
Okay, but it's like, what is awakening powered by? It's powered by our internal battery.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It's like the involution of this like excess energy that goes like, so yeah.
Yeah, so in between sessions, having this neural net of these experiences, we literally have it on board how to have this bliss. Like we have the instruction manual with us all the time. And then it just like arises all of this beauty and oneness and connection. We just have more moments of that in our daily life, cleaning the snow off your car, for your example.
It was the sunlight, actually. The sunlight hit me and I was like, whoa. And then I was like, yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, I want to look at some comments.
Yeah, people make really cool comments.
Hi, everybody. I'm sorry. We've been so excited. We haven't even been talking to you.
Yeah, we're just in the flow states, but I'm curious because I know there's at least one person on here who's experienced KAP before. If anyone else has, feel free to type into the comment, let us know. Yeah. This is what Emil said at the beginning before we went live. He says KAP is amazing, had the most beautiful and intense experiences during KAP sessions. So exciting that Jules was bringing us to Stargate community. And Emil and his girlfriend, they were both with us in Costa Rica.
They sat behind me. I remember them so well. Yeah, I've spoken to them on Instagram. I think they're such lovely people. I hope they come.
Yeah, for sure. But it's cool because I actually was watching one of Venin Wong, the kind of creator of KAP, I was watching one of his videos and I saw Emil and his girlfriend in his like video. I was like, oh wow, I know them. And so that's cool.
Yeah, they're KAP OGs.
Oh geez. Yeah. And so Genoa, I'm curious if you will. Oh yeah, Emil's saying he's gonna be there.
Yay!
Right on.
Costa Rica reunion online.
Sweet. Oh yeah, Sherry saying for me it was amazing. I could not sit still. It was great. Sweet Sherry. Yeah. I just discovered that we can do this with comments, and so I'm like,
love it.
excited about it.
Yay, Sherry. I hope we get to see you this weekend.
Yeah.
And so I'm flying to Shasta, y'all.
Yeah, Genoa's gonna actually come to Shasta so that we can KAP you all. We'll put the Stargate up behind us as well. So
basically, I'm gonna KAP Jules and you all at the same time. So Jules will be there, you'll be there, we'll all be in the same beautiful container. And I'm very excited. I've never been to Shasta.
Yeah, I'm super excited as well. It's always so powerful. Cool. So a few people are actually asking how they can sign up, when and where is the class. So we'll dive in a little bit more at the end of this live, but it's going to be end of January. So Friday the 28th and Sunday the 30th at 11 a.m. Pacific time. The transmission, go ahead.
I'm sorry, it's this coming weekend.
This coming weekend. Yeah. So we get to do this soon. I'm so excited to do this with the whole Stargate community because we're energetically connected already. So it's like we have a container for these transmissions to flow. And I'm so stoked to see what happens because every person's going to be amplifying it.
Yeah. Like no other community, this thing is going to be, it's just going to be so different because of the relationship you all have together already. Because it matters to me that there's a relationship. I find that the relationships really amplify the vibration. And as a container, you all have such a beautiful connection. So I'm very excited. I'm so, again, fucking honored. I mean, I just said it.
Yeah.
Honored to be here. So grateful.
Yeah. I mean, I'm so stoked. And I'm so grateful that I was introduced to this modality by you, Genoa. So it's like beautiful to share this now with everyone. And so the actual energetic transmission lasts for a full hour. It works through the quantum field. So you're going to be just in your own living room, in your own space. The best way is to be laying down on the floor because like the floor actually allows
a non-soft surface allows you to actually, if your body wants to move, it gives something to push against. And sometimes in a bed, your body thinks it's time to sleep. And so you won't get the same benefit always in a bed that you will get on a harder surface.
Yeah. And what else? Someone did ask if they can't lay on a hard surface, if it's okay. And like,
yes. So it's important that here's the rule. Please lay on the floor if you can. If you can't, do what makes you feel comfortable, what you need to do to feel good. Have a blanket nearby. Generally, the energy flows better without a pillow. But if you have a neck condition or any other reason you need a pillow, use a pillow. We have the guidelines, but do what you need to do to feel comfortable so that you can focus on the surrender aspect and not be thinking about how your neck hurts on the floor, you know?
Yeah, definitely. So cool. Eva's saying she hurt my hip, so it's going to be wonderful to have shift the blocked energy. Cool. Awesome, Eve. I hope it does good things for you. So, yeah, so people are asking if there's going to be a replay, and yeah, there will be. So the transmissions themselves, if you can show up live, please show up live, because then we're all like, it's just live is the best way. But if you can't make it live, the energy will be coming through the replays, and this similarly to how it will come through Stargate meditations if you're not listening live.
Being in the container, though, is definitely preferable.
Yeah.
So just to finish while you're looking at comments. So we're going to, the way the class works is we're going to sign on. We're going to say hello. We're going to say a few things. And then I have made a playlist, and the playlist actually like accentuates the energy, and it really takes you on a journey. So the playlist lasts an hour, and it's going to take you different places. The energy is going to activate. It works with the medicine, I mean, sorry, the energy. They work together, So there'll be a playlist. So if you have an external speaker or like earbuds or something, the better you hear the music, the better it is. So that's what I prefer.
Genoa likes to have speakers, like, so she can just blast the music.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. So
you don't have to blast the music.
No, it to me, it's a part of it, the stimulation. And when you have live KAP classes, the music is very loud. That's how we do it. That is part of the stimulation. Sometimes when you're in an altered state, like, you can sort of take louder things. And so we do that. So that's 1 hour of music. The playlists will be different. My playlists are different every single class that I give. So these will be playlists that have been created just for your community, using like whatever the energy thinks that will serve you best. That's what will be in the music. And it varies, all different types. I use all different types of music in the playlists. If you're kind of a music nerd like I am, and a song comes up that you're kind of not into, witness that reaction and know that it's a distraction. Know that you get to choose to focus back on the energy, or you get to choose to ruminate on how much you don't like that song or why it bugs you. And that is your choice. And that has been my choice when I've been in KAP classes too, where I was like, I don't like this song. And I get judgy. And then I realize I have taken myself out of the experience with my own judgment. So that's my advice on that. And I should talk faster. Okay. So then after the hour, we're going to have some shares. It's important that we have some time for people to talk about their experience, because these are very powerful, beautiful experiences. And also, when you're in a container, people will have the same experience, even though one's in Sweden and one's in Russia and one's in San Diego. They will have the same experience. I saw purple triangles. My grandfather came down and spoke to me. Like, knowing that somebody else in that same container had that same experience, it bonds the experience to you. So we'll talk. We'll do some sharing afterwards. And that's the basic layout of a KAP class.
Yeah. So it's probably going to last like 90 minutes total. The energetic transmissions are a full hour. And so depending on how many people want to share afterward, we're going to stay for quite a while so that a lot of people can share. And we're going to host this on Zoom too. So it's going to be like in a Zoom meeting with like, I don't know, however many people sign up, like 500, 900 people. The way KAP works is you actually have your camera pointed at you as you're laying down. And that is so that Genoa can help. Like, it's basically like a visual tuning in of people who you're working on, right? Cool.
Yeah, because I'll be KAPing you in person. I'll be KAPing the field that we are all that field, that quantum field. And I will be KAPing specific people on the Zoom page as well.
Yeah.
All of that will be happening in that hour.
It's going to be fun. Okay. So yeah, I think that pretty much covers how the class is going to work. And for those of you who want to sign up, we have a very big lower third for you. This is the link. It's stargate.live/KAP, KAP. So you can go there. Yeah. Hello. Yeah. If you're curious about this, please have an experience. Some people have asked if we're just going to talk today, and like, yes, we are, because it really, you want to dive in for the full hour. This is something that builds. It builds. It builds over that hour. It builds as you experience it again and again. Like, it has, when my first experience was like beautiful and also like subtle. Like, it was strong, but it was also kind of subtle. And now when I experience KAP, it's like, incredible. It's so strong. Yeah.
So if we were to do a transmission now, which we totally could, you wouldn't get the full idea, because I'm telling you, at the end of the hour is when it has really accumulated and it gets way more powerful. So if I just did a little 5 minutes, it wouldn't give you the real idea. And I would rather you have the real experience so you can understand why we're so giddy.
Trust me, it's better.
Yeah.
It's better this way. Yeah.
Is there, so I would love for people, if they had any questions, to have a place. Is there a place besides this? Please ask us questions.
Yeah.
I'm at Instagram at Jenoa Harlow. Maybe on the Stargate Mighty thing. Is there a thing they can?
If you want to ask questions, I mean, if you have questions, you can write to support@thestargateexperience.com. You can hit Genoa up on Instagram at Jenoa Harlow.
Genoa. Yeah. Okay. Cool. I just want to have, like, I feel like your community is so cool and they understand the transmission aspect. So it's such a pleasure to be able to bring this to a community that will so get it. You know, like, you guys are so advanced. It's incredible.
Yeah. It's amazing what's happening.
Yeah, there's a leading, what is it that Esther Hicks says, the leading edge? Because transmissions are where it's at. Because okay, so you used to only be able to experience this kind of transmission if you committed your life to a guru, and it was very exclusive access. You had to go live on a fucking ashram somewhere and commit your whole life to receive this gift. And I think that it's part of our spiritual growth and evolution that, I'm not a guru. You don't need to get it from a guru anymore. You can get it from a spiritual person. But I'm not a guru, but it's access. So we have access to this incredible awakening consciousness energy through transmission. And I think it's because we need it. And the way that it's going to become a normalized experience, just like yoga was so weird at first until it became normalized, is through groups like yours. You know, groups like yours are the leading edge to this beautiful evolution of the species, spirituality wise.
I think this is really us rediscovering how our vehicle works.
Yeah, embodied.
We've been tuned to the
disembodied way of, like, normal life.
Like, we cut the mind from the spirit from the body, and now we're rediscovering our true nature. That's really what it is. And this is one of, like, the tools that's, like, helped me just exponentially to, like, have access to the higher vibrational, higher dimensional, however you wish to, like, say it, but, like, the operating system that is actually our birthright.
Yeah.
Which is full of such good vibes and bliss states and energetic orgasms and, like, and incredible, just, like, the ability to sculpt your musculature and, like, release tension from your body from the inside out. And, like, that's, like, those resets happening on the mental and emotional levels as well.
Yeah. Do I have, like, 2 seconds to talk about trauma?
Yeah. There are some questions that people are asking, and then we can go into that. And we can keep going for a while because this is pretty fun. But
so you need a response. Oh, Wendy, I see you.
Yeah. So people asking, do we dress in yoga type clothing? You don't have to have yoga clothing, but have, like, comfy loose clothing that you can move in.
Yeah, whatever's comfy. That and you may not move, again, no judgment if you don't move, but if you do move, then you want to just have full ability and comfort. So yeah, yoga clothes would be great, but you don't need any particular, no Lululemon is needed.
No Lululemon.
You could wear some old gym sweats.
Yeah. And a few people asking, is this like an attunement? Can we continue to use it after the event, or do we have to continue to use the replays? So Daniel, there is such a thing as self-capping. The more you awaken this energy, the more access you'll have to that. Is that right? But the best is to continue to experience transmissions.
So It's best how it works the best is if it's a weekly practice. So you come to class at least once a week. A lot of people come to my classes twice a week because it feels so good and they feel like the momentum in their life. So it's a weekly practice. That's what it is. Eventually, yes, and maybe already for you, like it was for me, if you are already activated, then you can cap yourself. You call in the energy, you make it happen. But I still go to class. I still go to other people because it's you get something new having someone else facilitate you. Prageet said, John keeps asking if he could do it in a chair. He can't lay down. Absolutely. You can do it anywhere you need to. Like I said, there's a preference for laying on a hard surface, but the most important thing is that you're super comfortable in your body while it's happening. That's the most important thing. If you need to be sitting in a chair, if you need to lie on a bed, yeah, you'll still feel the energy.
Yeah. So exactly. The energy is going to find you no matter how you're sat. The laying down thing is mostly to facilitate the movement. Okay. And a few people saying, what if I can't have a camera pointing at me? That's fine, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can still show up.
Mm-hmm. So yes, if you can, having the camera pointed on you when you're lying down is the preferred way to do it. But just show up. Just come, tune in. If I can't see you, it's fine. This is going to be a large group anyway, and it'll be the largest group that has ever been capped. So let's just talk about
that. Is that real?
Yeah.
The actual largest group that's ever been capped?
In my knowledge, yes.
Whoa, that's really cool. Because this modality is pretty new. It's like 5 years old, right?
It is 5 years old. And you have to remember, it started as one person touching another person. It started as like a form of Shaktipat. So it's grown. And then during the pandemic, it grew to a mostly 100% Zoom modality. And it works the same on Zoom. So it's growing. The field has grown over the last 2 years and become very strong. So here we are. It's going to be great.
Yeah. And I would love to hear the story of Venant really quickly before we complete. Do you have time? And yeah. And also just one person who's saying he doesn't understand if you cap every person, how does that work as a replay? So Genoa is not necessarily going to be tuning into every person's video and capping them. It's the field. So it works in the quantum field the same way that the Stargate meditations work in the quantum field. Like if you're watching on the replay, you're going to be putting your intention to show up for this experience. And because you have that intention, you're tuning in to the field. And then Raquel is asking, about the dangers of Kundalini.
Oh, good. Okay, great. This is important. Do we have enough time to talk about this?
I think so. I mean, we're going to keep going, guys. You can bounce if you want to, but let's go.
These are really important things to talk about because there have, historically you will hear about people talking about the danger of awakening your own Kundalini. And so this is not Kundalini yoga. It is a transmission. And so as a transmission, it is supporting. You are not opening your own Kundalini. You are experiencing a transmission that supports and clears the way for your own Kundalini to rise. So it's not just you, the old experience, non-cap Kundalini awakening experience that was frightening is that some people would have a big jolt of Kundalini and then it would hit a block of some sort. And then it would go sideways and like kill their liver. And then they're in the ER and like have unexplained crazy liver stuff. So the reason that this is a very safe, supported way is because the cap transmission itself starts up here and it clears the way for your Kundalini to come up from the root. It clears from the crown all the way down, ignites your Kundalini, and then it's so supported. That's what makes it safe. So in the last 5 years, there's never been not one time someone experiencing any like Kundalini and injury type of thing. Never once.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's really good to know. And for me, it feels very guided. the field is so intelligent. It's like literally like even sometimes like I'll be like I move like interpretive dance like a weirdo like the entire time usually. It's like it's so liberating and so fun. It's like rapturous. But like I'll be like doing these weird movements and then my body like will like move really slowly and gently and I'll feel that there's a chair behind me, for example. And so it's like with that like level of like this is kind of what I mean by like the field really feels intelligent and like it's guiding me because even as I'm moving like a total weirdo, like all crazy, it's like I like there's some kind of awareness that's really guiding this process.
Right. Yes, it's incredible. As one of my long-term KAP students talks about is it's elegant. The field is elegant. And even if you end up shaking, which is how the nervous system release trauma and KAP utilize all of these ways that your nervous system releases trauma, KAP will use those ways. And even if you find yourself doing weird stuff, there's this incredible elegance to the way that it will take you on this journey of awakening and being your clearest self to experience yourself as who you really are, which is, you know, source and love and light and connection and oneness.
Yeah. And awakening is really all about clearing out all that old stuff that isn't you. That's all it is.
Yeah. So some of us have experienced trauma-filled lives. I am one of those people. I had a lot of early childhood trauma. And so, you know, in the last 20 years, I've been on this awakening path and trying all this stuff. And I would get very bitter about things like visioning and that my life wasn't changing, even though I was doing all the right things. And I didn't understand how much the trauma that I had experienced was sitting in my body. And so KAP utilizes your body's systems for your body has systems to release trauma. It gets stuck, but KAP is just this beautiful lever that will initiate a process to help your body use its own resources. So one of the ways that your body releases trauma is shaking. So you might find yourself in a KAP class, either your whole body is shaking or your legs are shaking or your arms are shaking. And it's part of it. It's part of this beautiful natural process. And it's elegant.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
I know. I got excited.
I mean, I'm like legitimately so excited about this and so grateful to be sharing this with all y'all. Yeah, and we should mention this. We're calling this an intensive because there's a Friday transmission and there's a Sunday transmissions and they will build. And it's also like this is being generously offered by Genoa for $44. So usually it's $44 per class. So we're getting like a special Stargate community, let's do KAP for the first time together rate.
Yeah, we were going to do just one class, but I was like, look, it's their first time. Like it's cumulative. The more access you have to the energy, the more intensely it works with you. So let's do 2 classes close together.
Yeah. It is cumulative. And after these 2 classes, we'll let you guys know how you can continue to do this practice. If you're anything like me, it's gonna be something that like, yeah, I got a taste and I just like ran with it. So
yeah, I have classes already 2 times a week, but I was thinking if your community wants it, I might start a whole new class just for
Can we have a Stargate class? Let's have a Stargate class.
That's what I think. I think that would be great. Yeah. So we'll talk about all that. I saw someone talk about a healing crisis. Okay. Is there a possibility of a healing crisis either through or after the session? So healing crisis it depends on what your definition of a healing crisis is. In KAP, it's important to know that you may have an emotional release. You may experience crying. But we talked about the bliss, but you might experience all of a sudden this like bubbling up of an emotion. And you might experience some of your trauma coming up and out. That is, like someone else said, Romalyn Woodruff said, the field will hold space for anyone who might get triggered due to trauma. It's safe, spiritual release, and sounds like she's so right. Romalyn, I think you're a female person. That's exactly it. The field will hold the space for you. So the surrender This is a practice of surrender. So you will surrender and let that energy come up and out and just let it be whatever it is, because it will pass. You will pass that thing. And then because this is such a adventure, a new thing will come. And if you need support, we will support you. You will find the support that you need. It is a big practice, though. Be ready. Be ready for big feelings. And
Yeah.
also be ready that the energy will be there holding you, supporting you, and it's all okay. It's all going to be
Beautiful.
okay.
It's so beautiful. Like there is something that's so nourishing to have big emotions come up and to simultaneously, as you're crying it out, feel like you're so alive with creativity and you're so alive with like the quantum, like higher intelligence of like what, like, I mean, it's not even necessarily about what you're releasing. It's just you feel your own higher intelligence all around you as you're like crying out this like human experience. And it's like, and that's why you go from laughing to crying to like bursting.
Yeah. Well, there's a moment sometimes that happens in KAP where the smear happens. That's a moment of oneness when you smear from sad to happy to giggling, because you realize that's the universal joke, that it's all the same. The laughing and the crying, it's all the same. Like the joyful emotion, the sad emotion, it's all energy and it's all the same. And then that thing happens where you're like, oh, I understand the joke of the universe. And then you
Or
laugh.
like the non-dual state opens. Yeah.
Yes, all of it. Yes. So yes, I don't want to call it a healing crisis, because I think the old definition, because I'm old enough to have been in this game for a long time and been in a lot of classes where healing crisis was a thing. And what I noticed that a healing crisis often was just stored trauma getting a release. It was a release. So you may experience some big feelings, and know that the energy will support you and your community will support you. And if you want to talk about it, do a brief share afterward. We will be there for that for sure.
Yep. So let's talk about Venom.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I just saw someone talk about breath work. Yeah. I was a breath work facilitator, and yeah, I went from breath work to this. Daniel Jackson, I feel like you totally get what we're talking about and you would love it, and it will help you get to a deeper level. I'm sorry. So Venant. So my teacher Venant Wong, venantwong.com. He was a devotee of Adida, and he had had a spiritual awakening, and he'd been around and to different spiritual teachers, and he decided that his whole life's purpose he was going to devote to his teacher Adida. And Adida lived on this little island in Fiji, and so Bennett flew to Fiji, became a part of that community, and thought, well, this is what I'm going to do for the next 10 years. I'm going to devote, because his guru, I think, was like 70 years old at this point, maybe 69. And he was like, okay, well, maybe he's going to live another 10 years, because he was a little frail. And he devoted his entire life to being with his guru. And after about 4 months, I think, his guru passed away, and he was lost. And he had to recollect himself and figure out what he was going to do with his life, because the satisfaction of being at the foot of his guru was what he was living for. And he learned a lot from Adida, and he definitely learned some transmission. He learned from other teachers as well, but his number one lineage that he claims is through Adida. So the beautiful oneness and non-dual aspect of KAP is pure Adida's consciousness.
Yeah. Cool. And wasn't he in the finance sector and then had like a awakening?
Yeah. He was 25. My teacher was 25, and he was in finance. He was like fast track. And he woke up in the middle of the night with just like lightning bolts going through his body, which will happen to you when you're doing a lot of KAP. You will like find yourself full of lightning in bed at night. And he realized that his life was shit. Like there was nothing it was pointless. His striving for making more money and being in finance, it was pointless. He had an awakening, and he realized that he had this energy and that he could pass it. And eventually, long later, after Adida, and he realized he could not only pass the energy to people, he could teach other people to pass the energy to people. And that's where I come in, and his other students. And there's 125 of us in the world right now, but it's going to get bigger. It's going to be normalized. And y'all are the leading edge, is all I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah, it's exciting. So there's 125 KAP facilitators around the world. We're going to experience this as a community. I'm so stoked. Yeah, I think this is a good place to come to completion. So thanks for being here, everyone. And I'm like, we'll see you in the field, and I'm like so happy in my heart to share this with you. CC is saying I'm excited and nervous. Yeah.
Yeah.
That.
Yes. And that's normal, because our nervous system sometimes can't tell the difference between excitement and nerves. And sometimes it's a little scary. Like, people can be scared of KAP. I understand. But once you're in it, it's not scary at all. It's not scary. I did cry. I did cry the first time I did KAP. The first 10 minutes, I did feel afraid of having my body not under my control. It did scare me. And I had that emotional release. And then after that, it was just pure, incredible, beautiful connection to the energy. So if you're scared, don't worry about it. It's normal. And once you're in it, you won't be scared anymore.
Yay. This was so fun, Genoa. Thank you.
I'm going to see you in person soon.
Oh, so exciting.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah. KAP is really amazing in person. It's amazing online as well. Like, it really is. But yeah.
Later, when the virusy thing and all, then we're all more able to be together, we'll do in-person retreats, and it will blow your mind. Okay.
It will. Yeah, I'm excited about that. All right, y'all. I'm going to play us out with some music called Feeding the Ducks. And we'll see you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for your questions. I can't wait to meet you and see you and be with you in this container. I'm so excited.
Yay. All right. Bye.